Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? You already know who it is. It's your brother from another, Marlon Rashawn Graves, a.k.a. Brother Mays. And, of course, my better half.
What's up, y'all? Jace Janae. We are back in the building.
Yes, we are. And this time around, we are not only back in the building, but we got my little brother in the house, Jeff Hardin, Springfield's own, coming back just to do this interview with us, man. But this time he's coming with a little bit of surprise. It's called Men.
Yeah,
Is that right? Is that right? What I'm saying? Men.
it's men. I
Yeah.
grew up a little bit on y'all, so
Yeah.
it's called men. Absolutely.
That's what's up, y'all. Hey, listen, first and foremost, we thank y'all for sparing with us a little bit. It's been about a good month since we've been back on. And here's the thing. We're revving up for the new season. Yeah, it's a new season for us. We are actually hitting 1 year being with this Lock and Loaded show. And I'm just gonna say thank you first and foremost to our supporting foundation, I should say, CPO, Community Partnerships of the Ozarks, supporting this. And of course, all those who have hit us up and said, hey, we love what you're doing. Thank you first and foremost. But of course, this is that next episode. I believe we're on episode 23. So, because, we do this twice a month. But at the end of the day, my brother Jeff, what's up,
Yes,
man?
grinding and shining, bro. So I try to do every day.
I love it. I love it. I can't even really call him my little brother anymore because, he's actually bigger than me in a way. But then at the same time, he's doing big things. And most recently, if you haven't seen across social media already, and those are within our circle, Jeff Hardin has founded as well started something that I just call miraculous. And it's a mentorship program called M.E.N. And I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit more about it. But before we go there, just tell me this. Jeff, you come from a background of a lot of great leaders.
Yes.
When I say leaders, you got some people in your corner, people on your board.
Yes.
Did this idea spur off of something that you were already exposed to, or was this something off of any recent, how would say, experiences in your life?
Yeah.
How did we get started? How did we get to this point?
Great question. So it's been a lot of things that brought me to this. Working with kids has always been something, kind of dear to my heart.
Right.
And through some of the professional experiences of wanting to be a sponge for education myself, I always want to learn something. Sometimes to the point I might be a little too crazy about it sometimes. Like back down Jeff a little bit. But but no, I've been a part of some different organizations. One of who I consider one of my own coaches and mentors, even though he's a little bit younger, but family member Steve Warren. Shout out to Big Steve in Omaha.
Hey, Big
another
Steve.
another Springfield
Another
product.
family right there.
But he allowed me to participate in some of his organization Dream Omaha that he's doing in Omaha, Nebraska, and Warren Academy. So it's amazing how sometimes people, you just watch and you pick up on things.
Yeah.
So I saw his influence and I saw what he was doing. And I saw some of the influence that some of my family's doing. So that's what kind of spearheaded me to, what are you doing? Let's go ahead and start doing something for yourself too. So
and I'm glad that you mentioned Steve in there because I've seen you on several different occasions. You would you don't just show up, you show support. You're at different events that he was doing and other things that you both collab on. But one of the things that I love about whenever we talk about family, he has a tag that he does called Family Strong or Hardin Strong.
Hardin Strong.
And this is something that I immediately be like, man, I know exactly where that comes from. Because when I'm gonna toss some weight out there. Jeff Hardin is the nephew of Miss Charlotte Hardin, who is a powerhouse here in Springfield, Missouri, and around the state and the region, and spent many years at Missouri State University, really developing, and I'll just call it what it is, the culture, helping us develop the culture. And at the same time, she's done a lot even for me, growing up, because seeing her do what she does, it made me look at things differently and how I can approach it. What was that like? And I want to go back a little bit because I said earlier, this is like my little brother because his mother and my mother were like not only close friends, almost like sisters, but we grew up like literally a few blocks from each other. And I'm just gonna call it what it is. I didn't have siblings, but when I was at his house, he was like my little sibling, so I picked on him a lot.
He had me to
And,
beat up on.
you
Absolutely.
know,
Let's call it what it is.
It is what it is. You know, he
tell the truth, shame the devil.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, we had fun, and of course, I love blaming stuff on him, even though I may have broke something in his house 2 or 3. Sorry, sissy. That's that's mom. Sorry, auntie. At the end of the day, you were always that innovator. That's just me.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at this from who I know he is and what he's been an innovator. He's always been creative. He's one of those type of people that if I walked in the other room and I'm like, what you doing? He's already trying to create something, build something. And I'm proud of you, man. I mean, I'm going to throw my flowers. I'm going to give you your flowers, I should say.
Appreciate that.
Right now. I'm very proud of you. Because what he's going to talk to you about, and I know you're kind of looking at the emblem here, the sign, it says men, we rocking it up here. When it came across the social media, and a matter of fact, I think you were on Snap, and I was on Snap, and I said, man, what is that? And he's like, just hold up, I got you, and just hold up.
Wait a minute.
And we sitting on Snap, and I'm like, man, what you doing? He's like, just hold up. And then he says, just give me a few days. Next thing I know, bam, it comes out.
It was there.
It was there. And you got a mass response, man.
Yes, beautiful.
Kind of
appreciate the love.
Talk about the anticipation of getting to that point.
It was tough to be patient, because you got to get things in order. So this is something that I had on kind of the back burner, so to speak, for over a year now. But I was waiting for the quote unquote time is right.
Right.
And so just one morning I woke up and it must have been the man up above telling me time is now.
Yeah.
So let's get it going. So I started playing on the internet, getting some ideas together, looking on the computer to get my thoughts together, reaching out to family, getting some feedback. What do you think about this? What should I do here? What should I do there? Some of the feedback's good. You got to be able to take constructive criticism when you start anything. So that was all appreciated, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But put it together, and next thing you know, like, boom, I got it. So
I kind of want to be the fly on the wall. I wish I was the fly on the wall in the room when you were telling this idea to people like, of course, your sister, Leslie Hardin, who's the president of the Springfield Reunion Club. And then at the same time, Charlotte, who's been on several boards and continuously is giving back to the community. But you also got your niece, Bria involved. This girl's amazingly smart. I mean, at the end of the day, you got other family who's involved. See, this is where that family strong kicks in. Because hard and strong. Everybody comes with a different aspect, different position in life, and they're bringing it back. So, did you feel like you had to sell it to them, or was it one of those things where you like, all right, I got to treat my family a little bit different. This is like, hey, let me put this little business model together. How did that come about?
Well, I had to trust that my family was going to be my biggest and best critic.
Right.
So I even reached out to Steve and some of the close friends I have there. I reached out to Reverend Darren Faulkner. Shout out to Darren in Kansas City. Who's
Shout
also
out to
a cousin
D.
of mine. So I reached out to everybody, getting their input and advice. And I knew whether I liked the advice I was getting or not, it was coming from a place from the heart.
Coming from the heart.
Because they care.
Yeah.
So everything, like you said, you start looking at things you want to do, just like with your family, everything's been grassroots. Our families grew up here in Springfield, Missouri.
There you go.
And they set the tone for the next generation to do better, be better.
Now that we got the I like to call it the cause, the why. I mean, a little bit of the why, because we're still going to go there with that. Talk to us about, and I really want you to talk to us firsthand, because there's going to be somebody that's going to watch this.
Yeah.
And they're saying, men, there's so many different things out there about men. What's different about men when it comes to your organization? And kind of explain that mentorship, education and nurturing. Talk about that a little bit.
To me, it was the perfect acronym, because when you look at society, what's missing now, sometimes in the family home, or what's missing in the community. Even in Kansas City area where I live now, you see a lot of community organizations, community groups actively involved in the community, but the majority women. So shout out to the women for holding it down. But where's the men? And like I said, we're in a society where sometimes they're diminishing the value of the man in the home and also in the community. So I was like, this is perfect. Men, mentorship, education, nurturing. That's what's missing. That's what's been missing in the community. That's what's missing as a whole. So why not us fill that void? So that's where that came from. M.E.N, that acronym just stuck with me. Like I said, there's so many different things out there that it can stand for, but you know, it was just perfect for me. I like, man, I love that.
I love the acronym, and with that being said, we're gonna come back. We're gonna put a pin right there, and we're gonna take a break because I know some of y'all probably watching this and you saying, "Man, this is good. This is not only good. I gotta get my popcorn. I gotta get my snack or whatever the case may be." But hey, this is the Locked and Loaded show. I'm only one half. That's right, Brother Mays.
Jace Janae.
Come on now, you know she's visual again. She's back. You can see her talking.
Jace is back.
Jace is back. But at the end of the day, we're gonna come back to you here in a few minutes. Matter of fact, check this commercial break out. This is the Lock and Loaded show.
A new historic Route 66 exhibit is opening. It's called The Mother Road, the African American experience on historic Route 66. This exhibit is being hosted by Drury University at the former Benton Avenue AME Church. Dr. Lyle Foster, the associate professor at Missouri State University, says there are many experiences involving the African American community and Route 66 that are often overlooked. He says this event will help highlight and share untold parts of history.
In those stories are some powerful anecdotes, secrets for life, testimonies of resilience, and what that experience was like. And we find that it's a very important and very powerful story that has to be told.
Dr. Foster says he hopes this exhibit will give a new perspective and what has contributed to the Springfield that we know today. Now, this is a free event. It'll be open to the public starting tomorrow. On your screen now, you'll see the days and times you can visit the Mother Road exhibit. We have that information on our website at ky3.com.
Hey, y'all, we back. Listen, I'm your brother from another, Marlon Rashawn Graves, a.k.a. Brother Mays. And, of course...
This is Jace Janae in the building.
That's right, that's right. Now, hey, we started off this show with my brother, Jeff Hardin, representing his new founding mentorship program called M.E.N. And we've already gotten into a little bit of the good stuff, but we saved a little bit for you. So I hope you got your popcorn. Hope you got your food, whatever the case may be, because it's about to get real good. So at the end of the day, Jeff, we was talking about how this got started.
Yeah.
And the mindset behind it. And I know it's not easy, and I know the story. But could you tell our audience the motivation after you already thought of this, but what really fueled you to get this going?
Right. So the initial conference I went to last year was with cousin Darren, his men's conference.
There you go.
Right.
And how were you? And what's the actual name of that? If you don't mind me asking, I'm sorry.
It's sponsored by Freedom Fighters.
Freedom Fighters, that's correct.
It's on our web. It's on my website. It's on Facebook. So I apologize. It's slipping my mind right now.
And this is in Kansas City,
Missouri. Okay. We'll have another one next year. But it happens during Father's Day weekend.
There you go.
And so we had some very enlightening topics and conversations with the people involved that spearheaded me to let's go ahead and put this in motion.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know, a month later, it would affect me even more. On July 17th, right. I got the call. Well, I'm actually...
It was around your birthday, right?
Yeah, my birthday's the 19th. So 2 days before my birthday, I'm at work at a automotive conference in San Diego, California, and I get the call that my oldest son had just been murdered. So, that, and he was going to be one of my mentors. I had already talked to my sons about being mentors because they have different, diverse career paths that they were taking. Oh, you guys would be great. And he was already going to be a part of that. So with his passing, there's a message that says, or a meme or whatever it is, a quote, says you turn your messes into messages, your trials, your tests into testimonies, and your trials into triumphs, excuse me. So I was taking that mess and turning it to a message, my testimonies, and I'm still going through my testimonies, but eventually we're going to make this a triumph. So we actually help part of this M.E.N program we're doing is partially dedicated to him. If you go to our website, MENImpactinitiative.com, you see we've got a whole page devoted to him about a little bit about his story and the impact he's had. He influenced so many people that I personally didn't even know about till seeing some of the services of, after just seeing his friends come around saying, Jay, he went by Jay, his name was Javian. Jay helped me do this. Jay showed me this. Jay showed me that. Where I was always concerned about him being a follower.
Yeah.
That little man was a leader
No,
in his
he was a
own
leader,
way.
right.
And I didn't even know. So he surprised me, but it made me so proud.
Yeah.
Even though he went out the way he did, but he also, practically saved a mother and two kids as well. But so that was a lot of the motivation behind it too, to keep it going and get it moving.
First and foremost, thank you for sharing that. And
Absolutely.
I know it's not easy. I mean, it's still tough. We were starting our show about that time. We launched our podcast early that July, and to be into our second episode at that time, we talked about it, and
We did,
of course we dedicate that show to his memory.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was my boy Chris Hudson. So big shout out to Chris.
Thank you. And it was so powerful because Chris Hudson, who is, those that don't know, Chris Hudson was one of the reasons why this show happened, because it was a conversation. And matter of fact, and of course, Francine Pratt, saw our conversation,
right,
and said, "Hey, let's get together." And of course, shout out to Chris and his clothing company. I'm gonna say it right, Youth Clothing. And if I'm not, I know he's got a new.
It just expanded.
He expanded to Carly and Al or something to that level. And if I'm wrong, forgive me. But man, I definitely gonna get him back on the show because very creative, very, very great young man. But what I wanted to get at was that because of that, man, because of that, and what you went through losing your son, I remember Jay saying to me at one time, "Hey, you need to check out our business."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I didn't realize what an entrepreneur he was. And if I'm not mistaken, this was a hauling business. Am I correct?
Black Diamond Hauling and Trucking.
Yeah. And you've helped push that initiative as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of family help. So his mother and him were really spearheading, trying to get it started for him and his friends. It was going to be their own business. And then after his passing, I got to give credit to my baby boy Jonas. He took on responsibility at 19 years old and said, "Hey, let's keep it moving." So everything we did, all the proceeds from, the GoFundMe we did, all that went to the business that my baby boy started to operate, and it's up and going now. They just actually had a couple of hauling jobs, this past week. So
there you go.
Nice.
Black Diamond Hauling and Trucking is up and going now. So if you look at our website, you'll see the logo. There's a link to Facebook. So check them out. So.
And if you go to that website, you also see what he's talking about is his younger brother. He's also a pilot.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
He goes to K-State. Yes. Yeah. Wow. So that was, like I said, they had two different totally career paths. One's going into hauling and the trucking business, so to speak. And out of nowhere, his junior year, he tells us he's interested in being a pilot.
Yeah.
Eventually, probably go private, but he's going to be early. He goes to K-State right now. He just completed sophomore year. He's actually ahead of time to graduate early. So
And to my knowledge, they have one of the better pilot programs in the country. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I thought. Yeah, when I talked to your son before, Jonas as well, and I congratulate him on that. Just to see his demeanor. it was, it's like he's grown up from this.
He's a pillar of strength. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't think that he's what, 18, 19?
He's 19.
19, yeah. You wouldn't think that he's 19. I want to kind of go here with this because when I go to
correct, he might be 20.
it might be 20.
I'm getting old.
Hey, man, I'm forgetting too.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of go here with this because when I go to your website, I see all these different leaders, and obviously everybody that you have working with you in your family. Man, everybody does something very pinnacle. Yeah, but at the same time, and I want to kind of go back a little bit because you're raising 2 boys, and before this incident or this murder happened, you were always bringing them to where you were at, what you were doing, and talk about that leadership, because what I would like to segue into is kind of where you're going with this in the mentorship.
Sure. So, regardless of your upbringing, you may have a father figure in your life, you may not. I was blessed to have one with my stepfather.
Right.
Either way it goes, somebody's going to set the tone and set the example for you to either follow or not to follow.
Right.
And when you have that positive role model as a male figure, like we all grew up with the community raising us anyway. So, we had uncles, we had friends of the family. We always had a bigger brother type of atmosphere where we were looking out for each other.
Right.
And that seems to be what's missing. But everybody had different career paths. So that's simply what I wanted to do, is make sure, my sons always knew where dad was.
Yeah.
Our dad would never, if dad wasn't in your presence, dad's only a phone call away. So that's where that kind of came from. And to this day, that's kind of what we're still want to do. So we have to be a little bit of big brother, big sister meets professional development, mentoring, coaching, and counseling. So, before you can get to the professional development, you got to tackle what's going on the inside with the children.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the home.
I like that because it's internal.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we do things, and before I go any further, do you mind going to get them now? Appreciate it. Hey, y'all, we keep it 100. We got our other guest that's actually just showed up, and you'll be hearing more about that on a different episode in the front. Thank you. You'll hear about them and special guests at that. But at the end of the day, the beauty of what you're doing is that you can give examples from the home.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in a while. That because when you look at how businesses start, a lot of times people will say this. They'll say, "Man, I did this, and I was over here, and I was over here, and then at some point in time, they had to take a break."
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I say they take a break, is because home and the business becomes this now. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
And there's no solidarity. And so now the business may take a lapse because now you got to go back and kind of re-pitch to your own family, hey, this is what we're doing. And this is how we're moving forward. But you did it organically. You really work with your kids, and now your kids, and I'm saying this because even though Jay has passed on, spirit-wise, he's here
still
with you.
here. Absolutely.
He's still here with you.
That's where the strength comes from. Absolutely.
So now you're moving forward. Talk to us about this in regards to the steps, because starting a business, especially on the fact of mentorship, is not easy.
Not at all.
Most people say, well, it's a nonprofit. This is an LLC at the moment.
It's currently LLC, correct.
Okay. How are you getting people to partner with you right now?
Right now, the avenues are wide open. So I almost had the term feel a need to copy off an old children's movie. But, community involvement, really. Just getting the name out there. I've been pretty blessed, to say the least, with my day job, so to speak, the past few years, that I was able to get the grassroots started, like we talked about earlier. I was able to get the grassroots started, out of my own
And
pocket.
what has that support been like? Because I know your job was very supportive of you through this process.
Oh, absolutely. I have tremendous support for them, not only with Jay's passing, but when they found out what I was doing. We all have coaches, and I have a coach myself, and that's something we actually provide with our company in the realm that we deal with. So I have coaches and people I reach out to if I need advice or just need somebody to talk to. Hey, everybody has a coach, but I've got them in my own back pocket, my own corner.
There you go.
So grassroots, just like I said, this came from pretty much out of my own pocketbook, but money was never the issue. That was not the reason to get into this. It's about making a difference. So
I appreciate you saying that, because the next question, and we're going to get into real quick, when somebody contacts you and they say, I have a child who's say 10 years old and he's wilding. It's a single mom out there. He's wilding out. What is that phone call like, and what's next?
We got to find out a little bit more the why behind it. We can't help them until we know exactly what's going on and get a good idea. So a lot of that just comes to building trust, not only with the child, but first you got to build the trust with the parent. So, once you can build that trust with them, you're able to have those tougher conversations about really what's going on. Because not everybody wants to let you know what's going on under their own roof in their own household. But the more trust you get where you can have those conversations, let them know, hey, it ain't you and I, it's us and we. We got to figure this out. It ain't about us. It's about this young man or woman coming up.
Gotcha.
So when we have those conversations or find out what's really going on, then we can really start the professional development, the personal development, help them not only with the life skills and the people skills, but then let's find out what they want to do in life and let's start grooming them to be what they want to be.
I like that. And I know there's going to be some people asking this question. The people that you're working with, and it doesn't have to be people all on staff, but do you have access to professionals with certifications in certain areas? I mean, how is like psychiatrists, or do you have certification in behavioral management? It kind of give me a little bit of that.
And that's what we really want to do, So whether it's community involvement in programs that are already establishing that we could just be a part of and help with the exposure to help these kids be exposed to different things. But if they know what they want to do in life, for example, one young man wants to be a computer programmer. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not the person to go to.
There you go.
I can't help you with that, but
can't
I'll
help
find
him with
them.
that.
Exactly. But like I said, I'm a sponge for learning. So
yeah.
I know somebody looks just like you.
Yeah.
Probably has the same or similar background and upbringing. We're going to learn from him. Notice I said we again, because I'm going to sit right there with you. We're going to find out what did he go through? What's the classes he took? What's the financial resources he had to look into? How did he get to his pinnacle?
I love it.
And you're going to learn directly from the pros. So that's what we want to do.
Well, here's the thing, I have to say this. I'm going to brag on him because, here's a Baker University graduate just like myself. Go Wildcats all the way. At the end of the day, you have a network. You have a network that you're working with. Hey, guys, listen, we're going to take a break right there, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to not only talk about more about what M.E.N is all about, we're going to talk about how it can get into your neighborhood, how it can expand, and really how can you connect and be a partner with M.E.N. Again, this is the Locked and Loaded Show. I am just one host. That's right, Brother Mays, a.k.a. Marlon Gray's government name. You know what I mean? Jace, go on, say something, or just give him something.
We'll catch y'all after the break. I'll play. But yeah, we'll see y'all.
It's all good. Hey, what's up, everybody? We back. Yeah, we coming back off that commercial break. Guess what? Jace was talking so much that
gosh.
I even want, matter of fact, I want her to actually ask a few questions this time, if she would. But at the end of the day, I'm always trying to put her out there. Hey, we got our special guest in the house, Jeff Hardin of M.E.N. That's right, M.E.N. It is a new mentorship program that is born pretty much right here in Missouri, right out of Kansas City, Missouri. And, got some home roots right here in Springfield. But we've been talking about how he got started, the motivation behind it, and really the connection. And what I really want to ask you is this, before I get into the other question I was going to ask you, what challenges have you endured so far? I mean, everything seems like it's organic in how it started, and everything is like a plus, especially when you're connecting with people who are in need of this. But what's some of the challenges that you have?
Man, that's a great question. I would say right offhand, the biggest, the biggest challenge I would say would just be some of the possible skepticism.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So,
give us an example.
When you're reaching out to some of the different organizations or programs that you like to participate in or be involved in, there's a lot of programs similar to what we're doing, but for whatever reason, it may have put a bad taste or bad influence, so the trust isn't there yet. So just like with anything, you got to sell yourself before you can sell what you're doing or your product. And so I would say maybe just knowing that, okay, what sets you apart, what's different about you and M.E.N Impact Initiative than any of the other programs we see. And I would just simply say it's the involvement. We're going to show up. You're going to be there. You're not going to have to find out where a representative from M.E.N Impact. We will show up. We will be there. We will be involved from beginning to end. So it's not going to be you see us 1 or 2 times and we're done. No, we're going to be there.
So are you setting it up to where you guarantee to have a certain amount of sessions over a time frame, or where like if it's me and say my son, he's 16 now, but of course, he's with me during the summer. If I want to set him up for a mentorship program and for those 2.5, 3 months, does that work like that? Does the parent say, you know what, I need somebody for this year?
Right.
Are you set up that way? I mean, kind of what's the time frame?
Gotcha. That's the great thing about it being grassroots because it's pretty flexible. So, we can do community group sessions or we can do one-on-ones. The one-on-ones, I have a idea to have them structured at least twice a month for at least an hour,
like
every other 2 weeks or something like that, at least, and check-ins anytime they need to. So, but each one's going to be custom, based on that individual kid that we're working with. If we need to meet more than two or 3 times a month, well, let's make it happen. Ideally, one of those sessions needs to be in person. So whether it's somebody working.
So you are okay with Zoom or something to that level where,
because for example, I've got family helping me down here. Big shout out to my family with all your support. Love you guys, but got to make sure I include them. But I'm in Kansas City Metro or in the Kansas area,
right?
So if I can't be here, we've got somebody here. If we can't meet in person, hop on a Zoom call, FaceTime, whatever the case may be. But we're going to meet so that way somebody's involved actively in your upbringing and in your well-being. So you're going to meet one way or another.
What is the biggest ask? Now think about what I'm about to ask you. When you are sitting back and you're thinking about whom you're talking to, and this, I don't consider. Of course, I coach football and I got players, but I don't consider them products.
Right.
They're individuals.
Exactly.
So when they talk to you and these young men that are talking to you, what is the biggest ask from them?
The biggest ask I have from them is that, just like the hat says on the back of the shirts, I'm asking you to believe in yourself, because all of this goes out the wayside if you first don't believe in yourself.
Gotcha.
If somebody wants something for you better than what you want for yourself, that's another uphill road. It just makes it more challenging. So you have to first believe that you can be whatever you want, do whatever you want. Then we can start working on the fundamentals. But it first has to come within. Just like playing a sport, you got to know that you have the confidence, capability to do what you want to do. And this is no different.
You're in a very diverse area in Kansas City, obviously.
Yes.
The metro area on both sides of the track. When you think about if it's a young black man, a kid that you're working with, or say a Hispanic kid that you're working with, are there cultural disparities?
I am so glad you asked that, because at first
I'm even thinking of just a white kid. Come up and say, because I saw something on your live one time, and you were working with some kids that was doing scholarships. Am I correct?
They were doing something similar to Shark Tank. They were doing small business presentations.
You had a very diverse crowd.
Very diverse. Absolutely. I'm so glad you asked that, because initially I thought it would be more of a quote unquote inner city type of initiative that we need to work on, but quickly found out it's out in the so-called suburbs, so to speak. You know, I live in the next to Kansas, right in my own backyard. There's a need. You know, so it's all over Kansas, Missouri, suburban, inner city. The need is there. You know, it doesn't matter. Some of these kids just may be more financially stable in their household than some of these others, but the need is still there. That they need some guidance and some direction. And unfortunately, let's face it, some of our school counselors, they need some of the help too. They can't do everything.
They can't do it all by themselves.
They can't do it all. So why not be another avenue and resource for them? So
perfect. And I you know, I told you I'm so proud of you. I love what you're doing. Because you mentioned something off air about expanding already.
Yes.
And that's kind of rare, being that you've only really launched this in April.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
it's already expanding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So kind of talk about that, because when you launched it, I mean, I saw it on Snap, I saw it on IG, I saw it on that. How big did this get?
Bigger than I thought, and that's a good problem to have with growth and expansion.
There you go.
So you know, initially I thought it would be more in the Kansas City metro area, you know, on the Kansas side of Nexa, Overland Park, Shawnee Mission, some of the inner city in Kansas City, Missouri. But once I put the announcement out there, I knew I'm from Springfield. I got to bring it home. If there's a need there, I got to help out where I'm coming from. You know, that's where
because I want you to talk about this, because we threw some names out there already.
Yeah,
that, you know, people in your family. You bring it home to Springfield. You got some people on your board that hold some weight.
Absolutely.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so you know, you mentioned my aunt Charlotte Hardin, who's actually one of my mentors as well. Like I said, everybody needs a mentor, and I'm no exception to that. So we've got Charlotte Hardin, we've got my other aunt Kim Jones, who's in the real estate. We mentioned my sister Leslie, who's you know, on the out in the community and on the Reunion Club board. And then, you know, just to show that we have a national presence, you know, my little cousin Ashley Hardin, she's actually head of admissions, if I'm not mistaken, her exact title for UNLV. But she comes from Phoenix. You know, her father, my Uncle Butch, you know, they were big out there in the college realm out in Arizona area. And then her brother Floyd's out there. You know, so then we got Bria, who's doing immaculate things. I can't keep a hand on everything she's doing out there on the East Coast. So but that's another good thing. And we just brought on shout out to Robert Galvin. He just signed on. He's gonna be one of our young mentors in Springfield, Missouri.
I love it.
So we're expanding. I got my friend Ramon Budget. So I've had people. You talk about expansion. Once I put the name out there, I was blessed. I didn't have to reach out to too many people. They reached out to me. Ramon being one of them, right there in my own backyard in Kansas City. And then a friend of mine from the auto industry that I work in, R.L. Moore in St. Louis, Missouri. Big shout out to R.L. He's like, I want to be involved. How do I help? So he's going to help us with the establishment in the St. Louis area.
When you're looking for mentors, what exactly are you looking for?
I am looking for individuals who first have a passion and that care about the next generation. The diverse backgrounds are great, and that's going to help us with the cause, but that doesn't have to be the determining factor, because we can always find somebody with that diverse background. Like I said, you know, I mentioned the computers. I don't know about computers that much, but I know somebody who does. So we can find that. So we want people that number one have a passion for the community, that care about, you know, where the kids are going with that next level, the next generation. Because like I said, the older generation we looked up to, it's time to pass the torch, and that's on us now. So really, if you have the passion to help, that's what we want. We can fill all the other voids elsewhere. So I don't get, and it may not be somebody that looks same skin color. That's perfectly fine with me. So, you know, if as long as you have the passion and love for what we're trying to do and behind the mission, M.E.N's Impact Initiative needs you, so feel free to reach out. Let's make it happen.
I love it. You know, we're getting to the end of the show, or at least this episode, and I want us to think a little further. Just think 3-5 years down the line, and you've established yourself. You say, okay, now this, since we've done this, now we can do this. In other words, what is M.E.N initiative, or should I say, and I want to say it correctly, you know, mentorship, education, and nurturing. What is this in 2030?
In 2030, this is a family, is the best way I can look at it. Like I said, I can't do this on my own. And that, when I said, correct me if I ever say I, because it's going to be we're going to be involved in this. So 5 years from now, this is going to be way bigger than Jeff Hardin. This is going to be way bigger than ideally the Hardin family. But just give you an idea, I want to create a Hardin scholarship.
I love
Kansas
that.
and Missouri.
That's where I was want to go.
You know, or excuse me, Springfield and Missouri. Let's create a scholarship. I don't care what. You know, we're looking at the specifics on what we need to do, but if it has to be a specific career field, which I don't want it to be, I don't want to limit any of these children. The Hardin Scholarship, different grants. Let's find out anything we can do to make it happen. So that's why I say this grassroots is wide open what we can do.
Well, I'll tell you
it's
what,
going to be way bigger than us.
We have a great supporter in why this show is happening as we speak. And what I mean by that, thank you for supporting us, Community Partnerships of the Ozarks, obviously for what they have done to help us. It has put not only us on the map, but the idea of what else. You know, a lot of people have said, you know, we didn't know that these individuals do these specific things. Since our shows come out, and we brought them out, and I thank God for that platform. Last question. Somebody wants to reach out to you. Somebody wants to find out, you know, my child is starting school this year, and you know I'm concerned. You know, and I'm not, you know, I'm not saying that they're going to do bad, but I would like for them to start off the school year with a mentor. Because let's be honest, you know, some of the schools, and we're in the largest school district in the state, Springfield Public Schools. I was a mentor for a while when I first came back, and I can tell you it's not easy. It's not easy, and I think we don't have enough mentors. And you know, they don't have to always be athletes, and you know, it could be somebody from a background of profession that's totally different. But being involved. How does someone call you and say, you know what, Jeff, I want to do this, but I only have this amount of time. I got 2 hours a week, or I got maybe 5 hours a month, you know, or every other Sunday or whatever. How do they contact you and start that conversation?
That's the easy part. But before I answer that, I just want to make a statement. And this is going to hopefully open some eyes for those that aren't already open. How many of us can raise our hands if we know an athletic coach in any sport? But how many of us know who to reach out to if we need a life coach, professional development coach, somebody help with personal skills? That's the void that M.E.N and Pat Initiative is looking to do. Some of them may also be ex-athletes that can kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. That's perfect. But if not, that's what we do. Reaching out to M.E.N and Pat Initiative is very easy. Website, menandpatinitiative.com. Phone numbers right there. Facebook, social media.
You're on all platforms.
All platforms. There's no limits.
I tell you what, Jason and I are going to share every aspect of that. I can see us having you back on our show.
The phone number you guys see is my direct cell phone number. Call, text, email, doesn't matter. There's, like I said, there's no limit. You can reach out to. That's the easiest way to do is reach out. That's the first and hardest step usually is just to reach out.
Right.
And then let's have those conversations and get them started. So easily done.
I love it. And I will be honest, you know, communicating with Jeff in regards to how this came about was so easy because he was an open book. He said it exactly. This is who we are. This is what we're doing. And for somebody that's known him all my life, I can tell you, for anybody that knows me, I'm getting involved. And I told him, I said, if you just need me to sweep, you know, take a broom and be the janitor of the business, I'll do that. But no, but that's real talk because, you know, I will work hard, but I'll work smart as well. But I will do anything I can to help somebody that wants to help themselves. And I think you're on the right track, man. You are definitely on the right track. A lot better than some of the ones I've dealt with before. So let's just being real. Hey, you guys, listen. You heard it all. You've heard Mr. Hardin talk about the vision. He's talked about the vision of it, the why behind it. All I ask is that you follow this episode and you get in touch with him. Jeff, thank you, man.
Appreciate
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Glad to have you, bro. Appreciate you.
Appreciate that.
Number love.
Jace, you got a little
You've
something?
asked all the questions.
I asked all the
honestly.
questions
Look,
the
I
time,
literally
man.
started typing some, and I'm like, he asked it. And he
Are you
did it again.
serious?
Yeah.
It's like that?
Yeah, just a few.
We're going to get
It's
Jason
okay.
asking the questions
It's
next
okay.
time. It's all good.
I got to be on the spot. We're going to put you on the spot. You got a question. Go
I
ahead and
got
ask
you.
it.
Yeah, we're going to roll out with her question. Go ahead.
But-
What's up?
No, I'm saying you really asked the questions I was gonna ask.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. But I want to say thank you for what you've created and what you're doing, because it's something that's
Thank
needed
you.
in the communities.
Thank you.
And yeah, any way I can get involved, I would love to as well.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. That's the main thing is I'm just one man with ideas. Everybody has ideas they can
Right.
contribute.
I love it.
Let's bring them together. That's one thing. You got these different communities and or community events and organizations. Let's everybody come
Yeah,
together
they
and
do
make
need
it
to
happen.
come
When
together.
the kids see the community involvement, which is what it should be, and I don't know who coined the term unity and community. That's what it needs to be. So we're just another avenue to help with that. So
That's great.
true.
everybody
That's
gets
true.
involved with men. Bring your ideas as much as wearing the shirts.
I love it.
That's
Hey.
what we love it.
5 years from now, we're already starting the women's. Oh, did I say that? Did I say
Well,
that?
included in men is what?
It's women, right?
Women. There you go. So
I'm just tossing out there, man. Anyway,
absolutely.
it's all good. Hey, y'all, this is the Lock and Loaded Show. As you already know, we out.
Peace.
Peace.